Indiana. New era, new energy. Already making plans for next season. Like, what are you doing? What do you do?
The Indiana Fever went into a frenzy right away. They really deserved every second of it, since they revealed their list of players who would be safeguarded for the next season. Additionally, they unintentionally posted it online, which is undoubtedly a trait of this gang. Once you start messing with Caitlin Clark, your incompetence overshadows her brilliance. Furthermore, you're now fostering suffering since you failed to see true potential.
Even one scenario ever out there in all the multiverses where Caitlin Clark would...
You're obviously not very adept at listening for skill. Your selections are obviously skewed, or worse, they give preference to those who most likely gave you financial benefits. The players you have selected may have potential on a good day, but it would be blatantly irresponsible to ignore rising talent and trustworthy resources. And if this is your approach, Indiana, it will be a long season of sorrow. Did you believe that November 24th, 2024 should be proclaimed a national holiday to teach people not to operate a franchise? Who needs your social media team to casually publish your protected player list for the WNBA expansion draft? Is it espionage or a leak?
Expansion draft is happening on December the 6th. It's going to be live on ESPN. But before that happens,
Just one day before the protection deadline, the Fever posted a photo of their protected player list, which is essentially a cheat sheet for every league opponent. Was it really so difficult to keep it together for another 24 hours before they had to quickly push to lead? And you know what? Screenshots had previously been grabbed by fans. They will remain there indefinitely. Indiana, you've just turned a turning point in the history of your franchise into an unforgettably terrible catastrophe.
Valkyries that's going to begin and play in 2025. But before that happens, we need to have an expansion draft because they need some players on.
Let's take a look at things. It's a delicate chess game, unless you're the Indiana Fever, in which case you just flip the board and let everyone else see your hand. The Golden State Valkyries, the WNBA's newest team, are preparing for their expansion draft. The stakes are quite high for each club, since each franchise has to prevent the kidnapping of 6 players while leaving the others vulnerable.
Right. And our ultimate goal is to hang another banner in the field house. And our ultimate goal is to come back in here after we win that championship and celebrate again like we did in...
But the fun doesn't end there. This draft isn't like the others. Riding high on a wave of positive emotion, the team that just earned its first playoff appearance in years is influencing the future of the league. They're still in shock, however, after a horrible public embarrassment. This is by no means an amateur error. Similar to when you unintentionally reply to a business email, but with 1,000,000 times the embarrassment, this kind of mistake is spoken about for years.
In sports, it's a big opportunity to be a part of this rising tide that we're all experiencing. Everybody in this company is all in. Everybody in this city.
Since the list is obviously as unorganized as the circumstance that gave rise to it, let's burn it. The brand's face is Caitlin Clark, a rookie sensation who enjoys filming highlight clips in crowded arenas. Aaliyah Boston is without a doubt a walking double-double and the team's pillar. Furthermore, Kelsey Mitchell is almost unbeatable due to her scoring statistics. Lexi Hull, however, is doing well. She's becoming better at being persistent and adding depth.
Even one scenario ever out there in all the multiverses where Caitlin Clark wouldn't be on the list. Aaliyah Boston, same thing goes for her. Kelsey Mitchell's going to be a free agent, but we know the Fever really want to bring her back. They've been celebrating her accomplishments in China. They just posted an hour of her highlights online. They can core her if they have her rights and keep her under contract. So it makes sense that they keep that big.
Then the brain teasers appear. Inconsistency could be Nalissa Smith's middle name, despite her intelligence. Rather than focusing on her rank, this athlete spent half the season in the news for her TikTok controversy. Dominance of the court, unreliability, and significant danger. It's like flipping a coin and hoping for heads while you're standing up for her.
She's not the best decision maker with the basketball. Motor comes into question at times, not really a shooter. However, there was also the other stuff. You know, she would seem to have an issue with crispy sides. Doesn't seem to stay away from social media at times. And then the thing with Bijane Carrington.
Finally, let's discuss who was left out. There was no defense for Dyra Stantes. She is a dynamic forward who can provide depth and spread the floor, but Indiana seems to believe they are so stocked that they can overlook her. How can someone with the talent that Grace Berger has be disregarded? This move is clearly foolish, and the fan uproar has been as anticipated as it is justified. She's young, undervalued, and the ideal backup. Caitlin Clark's decision to place her in the expansion draft meat grinder raises the question of whether the front desk staff really like their jobs, given that they never get in touch with you.
Benley is a winning attitude kind of player, plays hard on defense, really ran the floor well on the season, did a nice job converting Caitlin Clark's passes early in the year. Didn't do as well later in the year with that. Blew a lot of layups and bunnies, but I think part of that was because she had
The situation is made worse by the fact that it exactly matches ESPN's forecasts, leaving everyone to question if this was a leak or just a sign of how uninspired their approach is. Maybe it's time for a change in Indiana if your primary motions are so clear that a sports network could predict them. On the contrary, you have made others suspicious of you. A decision that says, "We don't know what we're doing," is the one that shields Smith and Benley from Berger and Dantis. Now, the once lively Fallout series has become a comedy. It's likely that your rivals are toasting to your counterproductive actions. Fans are doubting your abilities, and experts are analyzing your priorities. In any case, the team has already lost a significant portion of the war and their reputation, and the expansion draft is set on December 6th.
You just never, ever know when it comes to the WNBA. Like, nothing will surprise me. But this is a competent franchise. They're going to keep the players that have the most value, whether it be on the court.
Let's now talk about the prevailing notion about this circus. Fans are conjecturing that this purported revelation was a staged ploy to see how the public would respond. If that's the case, it's both very careless and, in a way, so clever that you want to burn everything down. Indiana is utilizing your fan base as a focus group because of her audacious and foolish choice. Leaks like this are not only embarrassing, but they may also be detrimental when attempting to restore confidence. However, if this was an actual accident, which seems more likely given the past, it's just another reason to doubt everyone's ability.
Stephanie White sees the talent that Alyssa has, and she clearly has talent, and thinks, I can get the most out of Alyssa. Or maybe the Fever think, hey, we're not going to lose her for nothing. Let's protect her because she does have tricks.
This is the most crucial aspect. Selecting Tammy Benley and Alyssa Smith above Grace Berger and Demiris only makes sense if doing so will provide noteworthy outcomes. Otherwise, you end up with a patchwork quilt of a roster instead of a club that has the potential to win a championship. Additionally, if Benley's problems or Smith's challenges continue, this team will have what might have been all over it. These choices have the potential to alienate the already unsteady fan base. Let's analyze this. Golden State might win and further damage Indiana's reputation if they capture Berger and DTI. The Valkyries seem to be giggling with each move while playing chess with half the pieces missing.
This has become a thing is because the players in front of her, well, there were 6 of them. And the WNBA draft, the expansion draft coming up, you can protect 6 players from the Golden State Valkyries. Each team, each franchise can. So fans try to put 2 and 2 together, seeing the 6 players that Stephanie White was talking to and thinking those must be.
Speaking of the Valkyries, they have a clear understanding of Indiana's goals thanks to this leaked list, so they are free to disrupt the Fever's preparations whenever they see fit. Unprotected players need to be apprehended. Look for proactive trade offers. Check again. Despite their rarity, WNBA expansion drafts have a big influence on the league. Every decision counts, and mistakes tear through rosters and standings. However, the Indiana Fever are falling behind in a league that is becoming more and more tough every day. For their strategy, Indiana simply handed them a bow-wrap cheat sheet. The Valkyries should send them a thank you letter for making their job so much easier.
NBA now getting some of the vibes that the NBA has gotten in free agency and off seasons in the past, where fans can't stop speculating about every.
Next up is Caitlin Clark, a player for the WNBA and the Fever. She and you both had amazing, record-breaking debut seasons that improved Indiana's reputation. At least you didn't mess up the obvious, but the rest of the roster is a tenuous mix of missed opportunities and unknowable potential injury issues. Boston should have become the cornerstone of a new powerhouse. But instead of systematically erecting a framework around its stars, the Fever are making decisions that might bring them down.
Fever fun. right? I mean, it's an all-season topic. It's perfect for that. A little bit of Fever fun. We can have that. And shout out to the social team if they're getting in trouble today. No big.
The Indiana Fever. You were supposed to hide your goals and demonstrate to the league that you are a serious squad. Rather, you have let the Golden State Valkyries card analyze your approach and make the other teams laugh. If this is how new energy seems, your supporters will suffer. This was more than just a mistake. It was a complete collapse,